Well, we defined the system needs in episode 1. So here, we get in to find out how are those needs going to be fulfilled. How can the solar company and myself be able to accomplish all those objectives? So the first part of that was a site survey.
All right, here. Got Garrett up on the roof here from Sunbridge. Starting to take some numbers. Getting ready for the solar panel installation. He's right now checking the sun, its direction, and how that works with the roof. And he's already gotten the dimensions on the roof and checked out the breaker panel, so they can figure out what they need for the install. And we'll keep you in the loop. RH here, signing off. After the site survey, Sunbridge Solar provided a nice binder, manual, with information. But, you know, some things I found useful. You know, talking about the meters, how the meters would be working, because there's different production meters and such we need to become acquainted with. But, now that's the agreements section. We'll get into that. But then I'll select the results of the survey in terms of here's the estimated production for the house, the layout of the solar panels, as well as here's the layout of the solar panels in relation to the pole barn in the house, and some specifics about that. And then, you know, tie it into the previous page about how much was expected to be generated and how they would be mounted, what kind of hardware they would use to mount them, and then schematics of how it would be set up, and then information about the particulars of the solar panels themselves, the radiance system, and its basic specs, and the specs of the mounting hardware.
So after the site survey, then there's the what and where. Exactly what and where are things going to be mounted, how are they going to be mounted, and whose responsibility is what. These are all really important, and you need to lay these things out correctly to get a good result. And in this instance, there was a few things that had to be taken care of. One of it is the storage batteries. So since this system had to have battery storage, we need to figure out what kind of batteries, how we're going to store them, how we're going to connect them, and also what's the mounting location for the batteries, for the system itself, for the sub panel. All these things had to be figured out. And then, of course, placing the order and actually them starting the install. So we'll start today on the battery box. We'll be talking about the battery box and the batteries. And
ready to put the acid on. 12 ounces of muriatic acid per gallon. And I'm going to get one of them oscillating fans over here, you see. We're going to blow the stuff out of fumes out of here. We got the doors open, and see if we can do this quickly. Quickly, you know, quickly. Now I'm going to take my scrub material, take it out to some plants that I really hate. Time to go kill some weeds with some acid solution. Clean up the acid. Yo-ho, blows van down. Army tees, swab the deck. Get that acid wash out of there, or we'll make you walk the plank. Arr. RH here, on my knees. We're going to paint this thing today. Hey, top of the morning to you. That are ugly UGL dry locks. And this is in a gray color. And paint the concrete here. Let's start painting. Now you grab a paintbrush too. Don't just hang around out there. This stuff's really thick. Why use 2 coats? You can just put on one really thick coat. Yeah, not a big deal. Always takes a little pounding to get it in there because it makes it pretty tight. A little tighter. Made some progress here last night. It was really so slow. Was driving me crazy. You wascally wabbit. Normally, if you're doing a cabinet, you could easily shim it up. You know, you could build a box, you get it in there, you could shim it up and get things. Well, the combination of these 2 batteries is 2,500 pounds. I didn't mention before, one of the problems I had with this was, I mentioned that it was irregular, but what I didn't tell you was that every one of these pieces here had to be custom cut and fit. These things, they curved. Not only was it a difference between one side to the other, so I had to cut down one side, but it wasn't a linear curve. There were, you know, bumps, and then this side was in the middle, was 1/4 of an inch different, and because it will hit your depth cut before it splits across. See how nicely that comes in? I'm actually using my saw here as a straight edge. Knife blade here. Get it fairly deep. Now the other thing that helps me to see the line is if I come here at an angle and then I angle cut in like this. Because I've had where I start cutting along and then I can't see the line anymore. I don't know if it's my eyes or what. I need something where this would mark it at the same time. But this pressure treated wood is very dark. It's dark to see. So here I can, when I cut it in like that, see how I can take out this strip right here. So that gives me a line going right along the edge all the way up to most of what I need. This is just an optical illusion I think you're seeing here that, you know, that this thing is like latching up over here. I would never suggest or have anyone do anything to the safety equipment on their tools. So we've got all the bays. Well, my bread's risen. You know, we're ready to put it in the oven now. As you see, we've got some very modern sculptures here. Random acts of foam. So I went through these using a short level. This 23/32 stranded board. Oh, quite a bit cheaper actually than the other plywood. And I think it's a little more resilient to chemicals and things, or I would presume, just because it has so much glue in it, so much adhesive. Beware of the optical illusion. Put the rough side down. Don't want that. Okay, that makes us good to go. See, I've got some kills here. That's one of my favorite. This is the oil-based kill. Sitting it. Okay. See the piece of conduit in there? I was kind of thinking of just coming down in straight, but then I realized I didn't want the hydrogen gas to be able to find a path in it. So this is kind of like a sink trap. The hydrogen's not going to go down the tube. Put in a little bit of shielding in here. So I've done a little more cleaning up on it. All right. Well, the batteries are here. Sorry I couldn't film the acrobatics getting it out of there. "48 volts combined, 24 volts each. Between 600 to 900 ampere hours, depending upon discharge rate. Alright, here, it's taking a few in-progress shots. I worked the one end over onto it, using the come-along on the far side over there. And I got the one end up, using a couple things to support it. Now I'm starting to move to the other end. I just thought you'd like this part of it here with the... See, I've got this 8-foot 2x6 wedged under there, and lifting up, and then got it pried up. Just trying to support that side a little bit. Now I'm going to give it some pulls forward. This would be the perfect time for me to start swinging the back of this thing over. I think so. Just have to be sure that it's not going to lose its cool on the front there. I have to go a little farther forward first before I start trying to kick it over. Okay, I've swung them back and forth a little bit, and that one's almost lined up. I've been working with this long 8-foot board here. I kind of use it and actually wiggling and getting it under lifting and then wiggling it like that allowed me to change the angle of it. It's been very helpful. Cool, look at that. That's wiggling its way right over there. The gas is working out pretty well. Okay, so I got first stage in this. So we'll do so I've got the come along up an angle that way, so I'm getting a little bit of lift and also pulling it in the direction that I wanted. Kind of sliding it forward, back and forth between the jack and the come along. See if I can get in there. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Might as well get a little extra distance out of it first, you know. Okay. Ooh. You see the jack just rolling along a little bit. Want it all up on the platform. There we go, come to Bubba. little nervous about getting these things in here, but that went real smoothly. Just took it step by step. Praise the Lord, all worked out. So the vent pipe has been connected up. Now it's a dry fit. As you see, we've got the there's the first strap in, the lower strap, and the upper strap. Seems to hold it quite securely. We've got the vent cap where the hydrogen and air are vented out of the box will exit up through the roof. Now, a couple of things we want, well, to not significantly impede the flow coming up, but we want to prevent rain, wasps, things like that from coming down. Okay, we're going to assemble this little ventilator frog for the top. Now, of course, the frog stays in place best with rivets. Now, this blue PVC cement sets up very quickly. Get the rivet, hold the washer in there a little bit. There we go. Now, I often don't secure it all the way until I get the second rivet in. So, second one's over the head. But now at least it's held in place a little. Yeah, okay, so we got a rivet on there. Rivets on there. Cap part has been prepared. You can see I went with the hose clamp on it. I'm back with the snorkel and the torpedo. Okay. Glue. Don't want to go crazy with it, but let's get some decent glue on there. Okay, that is held. Ooh, yeah.
Hello, it's Igor here in the pole barn, and we're working on the battery box. Yes, we've got some Frankenstein.
For those of you who don't know what Frankenstein is, it's when you make a combination of your leftover stains and mix them in a ratio you think might be attractive. Have the first coat of Varathane on these pieces. See, the pieces have now been placed on there. I like the look of it. It's got kind of a little industrial look to it. And Team RH is taking possession of the ball in the midfield. And he's pulling out the drill. He's lining up. He's lining up. He shoots. Hey. Oh, he blew it. RH here. Well, we're fully boxed. Our battery box is boxed. This is where the radian will mount, the inverter, and the two charge controllers will mount on a piece of plywood here. Okay, we've got all the holes cut for the vents. Yeah, here I'm just installing the first vent. Okay, this is obviously the bottom of the box, so I want the vents heading down the other way. I'm just going to press that in there. This is the under lid foam. Just use the rest of that up. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to set it down there. Hopefully we'll grab the glue. Then I can bring it up and nail that thing in place. The sides of the box have been stained and dressed out. Not going to get too elaborate here. Battery box is pulled together. It's all finished on each side. The seals are on. And the upper panel for holding the radian, which is the inverter, as well as the charge controllers. And you can see the vent going off here to the left. Let's open it up. Swings up, you see the seal. It seals around this side, around the top edge. It's nice, they're all clean.
So at this point, the battery box was completed with the conduit and the wiring coming up to connect into their system. There was a board put down for them to mount this equipment on. And there was another board here for mounting the sub panel. So a location and a sub panel mounting that's next to the other panel. So this is for the critical load panel. So that was set up, ready for them to start the installation. So now we move on to episode 3, where we actually get going with the installation.
Please join us for episode 3, as they really get cranking on getting this Starlight going, installing the panels, installing the radiant system, running all the electrical, a massive project. I'm glad they did it and not me. So come back, have some fun, see how the solar panel system comes together. RH, signing off.